You know who just called me?
No.
That's why I went for the interview. I got a job, baby.
About damn time. Woo! Go, Gregory.
Let's get some action here.
Now listen, I probably shouldn't be cheering for a 35-year-old man getting a basic job while living with his mom, but hey, sometimes you have to meet people where they are. And for Greg and his fiancée, Joan, this is huge.
I've been praying every night for him to get a job. I know now we are going to save. We're not going to get our house immediately.
Oh, a part of me still wants her to manage her expectations, though. I'll explain. Also,
Just gotta look up. You'll see a lot of tall buildings.
to top off the big news, Greg takes Joan to New York City for the first time.
He's from the actual jungle. This is the concrete jungle.
Wait, is that offensive?
Wow, look at this one. Wow. I feel like I'm going to break my leg. Wow.
Yeah, Joan's reaction is a sight to see. Woo, it is nothing like your first time in New York City. This experience with Greg leaves Joan questioning if she's been too hard on him. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Plus,
you have to make sure that your children are taken care of, both of them, and that you are taken care of.
I hope so.
we'll get into what has Mina in tears as she vents about her situation with Mark at the Stitchin' Bitch, hosted by the icon herself, Mrs. Martini Pat.
We just have a few sips and crochet.
I wanna go to a Stitchin' Bitch. Let's get into it.
It's Malicia.
Hey 90 Day Fans fam, it's Malicia. I hope you're doing well. The last time I talked about Joan and Greg, she was rude to his mom on purpose, telling Greg's mom she's always home.
I'm always home.
Most of the times. I think you should go more.
She claimed she was trying to find out where Mrs. Lucille's buttons were since they're living together. I assumed she was just fed up from living in Greg's mom's house and Greg not working, that she just became loose at the mouth. Miss Lucille does something major for Greg and Joan, who were planning to have their wedding in her backyard to save money.
You should be able to do it for somewhere around $8,900.
Greg's mom offers to pay for them to have their wedding at this beautiful banquet hall, and it has an open bar.
I just thought that I would throw that in there.
You think you could pitch in maybe just $1,000?
Yeah.
Greg said,
Yeah.
with the quickness. He knows where his mama is going with this. With no job, though, I wonder where he's gonna come up with that. Also, they still have a $3,000 dowry on the table that needs to be paid in less than 90 days.
If you don't follow the culture, you can't have the wedding.
But yeah, Greg's mom's willingness to pay for the event space made this an emotional moment for everyone.
And I want him to have a special day, and I want Joan to enjoy herself as well.
And although Joan was worried about this being another burden on Greg's mom, she was very grateful. Ooh, Miss Lucille loves her baby.
Oh, Hercules, Hercules.
Fast forward to this episode, Greg shows Joan and his mama that maybe, just maybe, he can hold the weight of responsibility. But before we get into that big reveal, Joan, who was once confused about why Greg had dogs in his house.
Calm down. In my country, dogs are outside their house. They're like security dogs.
Has an evolution of her own. She is now a dog lover.
I'm learning like to love them, to be with them.
But she has limits.
You gotta make sure you get her butt, her legs.
You're going to clean her butt.
Period. Greg says the dogs are getting more action from Joan than he has in the past few days. And we know why. She had to push him to apply to get a job. On a primal level, Greg basically told Joan, I'm not going out to hunt. You and our future baby, if we have one, are either going to have to fend for yourselves or starve. And what does a woman's body do with that information? It adapts. It protects. Her body is probably saying, this man is not a safe provider. Let's go ahead and shut that whole system down right now. aka his lack of motivation, has turned her off. But Greg is about to show her he can catch a fish or two. Now, whether he can bring it home, clean it, fry it, or bake it is yet to be determined.
You know who just called me?
No.
That's why I went for the interview.
Joan looks like she got a little scared.
I got the job, baby. I got the job.
You made it.
I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
Made sure that I'm not going back to Uganda.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. God has answered, right?
Finally, I'm really happy you did it.
Joan is out here upgrading Greg.
Baby, I'ma be a motivation.
Women have that beautiful ability to influence growth. We special like that. Men, y'all are special too, just in your own way. She put herself first by saying if he doesn't get a job, she's going back to Uganda. And he didn't want to lose her. The way he talks about her assets.
Can't wait to squeeze that booty.
Yeah, Joan is probably once in a lifetime for Gregory. Speaking of once in a lifetime, Greg takes Joan to New York City, Manhattan to be exact. It's a place I think every dreamer, ambitious person should visit if they can, at least once in their lifetime. The energy is so unique, it's so special. Even Greg is feeling it.
Anything is possible.
I love seeing Joan's reaction to Times Square.
You can never find such buildings in Uganda. Seeing those yellow cups, I'm like, oh, is this a movie?
She also had a slice of New York pizza for the first time. She says she's had pizza in Uganda, but New York pizza is the best pizza she's had in her life.
Oh, yeah. Raise the roof. One for New York.
Oh, that is such a great feeling. When you introduce someone you love or like to a new food that you know is good. That's how I feel about the acai berry bowl at Whole Foods. Add some honey. Woo, it tastes like heaven. It is literally perfect to me.
So I have some rose petals here. I'm gonna sprinkle them around a little bit.
Greg wanted to make this night as perfect as possible for Joan. He told her to wait in the hotel lobby so he can set up the room with candles and rose petals.
I try to be a romantic person. I'm learning ways to be more romantic, I guess. It's about learning and seeing what works, but I want to be. I want to be a more romantic person.
I love to see the effort. That's all it takes sometimes. Because at the end of the day, if what you have is real, it really is the thought that counts.
I don't want you to go back to Uganda. I don't want you to ever think about that ever again, unless we're going on vacation.
Oh, look at Greg sounding like a man. Joan loves what Greg puts together.
You're the man I want to spend my life with. I love you.
I love you so much, baby.
So much so, she starts second-guessing her behavior toward him.
Me trying to push Greg to get a real job, I was really motivating him. But now, thinking about it, I feel like I was really hard on him.
Girl, if you weren't hard on him, I'm not sure if you would be on this little staycation right now with a glass of champagne in your hand.
Babe, you nailed it.
In my opinion, Greg needed that push. I just hope she doesn't have to keep pushing him to be the man she needs him to be. He doesn't need another mom. If anything, I think she can consider how she says things to him moving forward. Joan tells the camera Greg has to put in a lot of money to bring her to the US. He would also fly to Uganda every year for 4 years to see her. And she'll always be grateful for everything he's done for her.
Okay, now let me go. Put on something romantic.
All right, you guys gotta go. Get out of here. Shoo.
We are fine to leave, sir. Unwanted images already popping up in my head. All right, moving on to Mina, who is home alone in New Hampshire for the first time with baby Maria for a few days while Mark is away at work.
C'est déjà ennuyant d'être toute seule dans cette grande maison et aussi de voir tout le temps la photo de son ex-wife. I have impression she watch me.
Knowing Mina and Maria were moving into his home, I'm not sure why Mr. Mark left pictures of his ex-wife up.
Sometimes I'm not very smart.
His words, not mine. I enjoyed my chat with Mr. Mark. If you haven't watched our conversation, make sure to check it out. It helped me personally get a better picture of Mina and Mark as a couple, to a point where I'm actually rooting for them now.
Ex-wife, new wife. Time to say goodbye.
As Mina's removing pictures of Mark's ex-wife,
Au revoir.
she comes across a picture of Mark and former Vice President Kamala Harris and is so confused.
Maria, you know this woman? I think he's poor here. He need to explain to me where is his woman.
That was cute. And honestly, as a US citizen, it pops our center of attention bubble. It reminds me of how big the world really is. Much bigger than our headlines. To Mina, Kamala is just a woman in a photo. To Americans, she's a significant piece of history.
That is Joan's here. Hi.
Here, Mina. Come in.
Thank you.
Maria said, "Let me in."
She's the star. She's the star of the family.
Mina and Maria arrive at Mrs. Martini Pat's house for the stitching bitch.
When I heard Mina was moving into the neighborhood, I thought, she needs a stitch and ditch. We started this because some people crocheted or other people drink, so it was called Stitch and Bitch.
I can see this being a movie where Jane Fonda or Lily Tomlin play Mrs. Martini Pat. I love those feel-good ensemble comedies about like mature women reclaiming joy in their lives or getting their groove back. Also, I'm sure when Mina and the 90-day cameras showed up, it brought a little extra excitement into the neighborhood. It definitely gave the ladies something new to kiki about.
Women have to come together, and you have to be able to talk, and you have to be able to bitch about things, and you have to be able to complain.
That is Mrs. Martini Pat's daughter, and you can tell she has a little spice in her. Another one of the ladies points out how all the men in their aviation community have type A personalities, which I'm assuming means they need to be right or in charge.
They have to
pilots.
be a pilot, and the women just have to deal with it. So
Right. And-
you've got to
and-
find people that feel the same as you.
I love how they've built this little community inside their community. I remember when Mina first got to the US from Paris and she met Mrs. Pat, who brought up crocheting, and Mina was not into it at all.
And I like a martini.
But this moment right here is a reminder to me that sometimes you just have to trust where you're being placed. Be open and expect good while in the unfamiliar. It might not be what you're used to, but the experience itself can be expansive and grow you in ways you've never imagined. Not everyone can say they've had a stitch and bitch experience with a woman referred to as Martini Pat. It's unique and honestly beautiful. I know how easy it is to expect disappointment when opportunity knocks. You don't want to get your hopes up. Sometimes it's even hard to get your hopes up. I'm actually diving deeper into that in a video I'll put out soon. But what Mina is doing here, showing up anyway, being open, just proves that there is beauty in the unexpected.
So what are you doing while he goes to work?
I stay at home. I watch TV and I sleep.
And the bitching starts.
Different than you expected.
Yeah.
Mina goes on to open up about how Mark's family wants her to sign a prenup, and all the ladies gasp.
No, that is absolute bull because they want to make sure she doesn't touch any of his money.
You can tell this one right here is more into bitching, and I love it. Mina goes on to say she's terrified because she doesn't know what she's signing. That's when Mrs. Martini Pat explains to her how the prenup will also protect her and her kids. I'm glad she gave her that clarity. And Mina says, okay, she'll sign it, but under one condition. And that's if Mr. Mark adopts her son, Clayton. Now, to me, that sounds like something a committed, present stepfather would do. But what do you think? Do you see a downside to this? The only downside I can think of, which actually is a big one, is what happens if they divorce. That makes things way more complicated, and it can make it even harder for Clayton.
I have never seen until right now, it's gonna make me cry, the position you are in as a woman who has now 2 children. You are counting on him, and there are no guarantees.
Mina says she's lost her friends, her job, everything, all to come to the States for her new family.
And you coming into my life? Oh. Right. Mark needs to have your
This
back.
I need for my kid. I don't care for my feeling first. My feeling first is for my kid.
Well, next week, it looks like Mina is going to have the conversation with Mark about legally adopting her son, Clayton. And she says if he says no, she is packing her bags and going back to Paris. Yeah, the commitment just got bigger. I still think it's wild how David and Annie are the main reasons Mark and Mina ended up on 90 Day Fiancé.
I was in New Delhi, India, and staying in a hotel. And in the lounge at the hotel, I run into David and Andy. I had heard them talking to somebody else about, bringing her in on a K-1 visa. So Mina and I are just getting started with the process. And so I wanted to talk to him. Didn't know anything about that he was on the TV show. And talking to David, just about it. And then he springs the, looking at my Instagram and Mina's, and he sent it to casting.
Yeah. At Jess Y described it perfectly as kismet. By the way, I just want you to know I see all of your love and your support. I've been so busy lately. 24 hours doesn't seem long enough for a day, but I see you. I appreciate you, your encouragement, your support, your love. It inspires me to keep going. And whatever it is that you're dreaming up, creating, working on, I'm sending you my love and support too. Don't give up. Keep going. You have something special in you that the world needs to see, that the world needs to feel, that the world needs to experience. So give us what you got. All right? All right, 90 Day Fans fam. Thanks for hanging with me. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure to hit it below. It helps me out a lot. I will see you next time.